All right, so this is the first installment of civic virtues. What are civic virtues? Civic virtue is the collection of habits that are important for the success of the community. Civic virtue is also the dedication of citizens to the common good of their community, even at the cost of their individual interests. And as we go through each one and throughout each of these presentations, pay attention to the idea of why does a community of people want members who have civic virtues? How does that help the community? Here are a list of different types of civic virtues. We've got integrity, acceptance, honesty, empathy, volunteerism, courage, selflessness, open-mindedness, fairness, and voting. The first one we're going to discuss is fairness. It means being impartial, just, or free of favoritism. When you make sure that others are not treated badly and you do what is right, you're being fair. We've got a couple different posters about fairness. Here's one concept that I want to talk about, fair versus equal. And if you go back to the last slide, it shows a drawing up here at the top. On this side, it has everybody has the same equal sized stool to see the baseball game. But you've got this guy who can't see, and you've got this guy can see, and then this guy can see really well. These are equal opportunities, equal size crates. Now here, this guy on this side has no stool, but he can still see. This guy has a stool and he can see, and then the last guy has two stools and he can see. Which one is fair? Fairness means you give everybody what is right for them. So fair doesn't necessarily mean equal, and sometimes that's a hard concept. Up here we've got Abraham Lincoln. These men ask for just the same thing, fairness, and fairness only. This, so far as in my power, they and all others shall have. So back a long time ago, we've got a famous president who's talking about the concept of fairness. And again, remember, how does having members of a society with fairness in them help a community? And then this one comes from actually biblical age, treat others like you would like to be treated. So it doesn't necessarily mean, again, that you're giving everybody the same treatment, but rather think about how you would feel in someone else's shoes, in someone else's situation. How would you like to be treated in that situation? And try to act like that. Next, we've got honesty, and we've got Mr. Lincoln here again. It means to tell the truth every time. And remember, why do we want members of a community or members of a society who are honest? Keep thinking about that. Here, up here in the upper left, act in a way that you know is the right thing to do. And we've got two little girls talking to a police officer. So he might be questioning them. And in that situation, my goodness, you'd be very nervous. But it's important to be honest if you are a member of a community. Down here, you've got a little girl confessing that she broke her neighbor's window. She's being honest. This person right here, looking on the other person's test, that's not being honest. Honesty comes even when no one is watching you. If you are truly an honest person, you tell the truth and you do the right thing even when no one is watching. We have a little kid right here returning candy that he took. His mom is showing him that he needs to be honest. The store clerk did not catch him, but she's showing him and setting a good example at a young age, saying to be honest is not to do that. Also, when you turn things in that you find like on the sidewalk or at school and you give it to the lost and found, that is being honest. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. So liars have to remember their lies. If you are always a person who tells what actually happened, then you don't have to remember, wait a second, what did I tell that person? What was the fib that I told? And that's hard to keep track of. But if you tell the truth, you just tell what happened. Next, empathy. empathy. Empathy is a good one. Up here, you see someone who is empathetic. I know exactly how you feel. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. And this is important for people in a community. Here you've got a baby being empathetic to a sad baby. Empathy, we know exactly how you feel. Empathy to recognize and feel the emotions of another. Now, here's something to be clear about. Empathy is very confusing. Sometimes people mix it up with sympathy. Empathy, feeling the same emotions as another person. Sympathy, feeling sorrow or concern for another person. So, if you are empathetic, it means you've been there. You feel exactly what they feel. Sympathy means you've not been there. You've never really gone through what they felt, but you know enough to look at them and go, wow, that person's really upset. I feel bad for you. See, it says feeling sorrow, or I'm concerned for you. So empathy is as though you did it yourself. You know exactly how they feel. You've been there. Sympathy is, I've not experienced something like that, but I do feel bad that you feel bad. And that's it. Again, keep in mind civic virtues. Why are those important for people in a community?